Breece Hall almost a Kansas City Chief. It was this close. The offer by the Chiefs was a 4th rounder. The Jets wanted a 3. So Hall very disappointed. We're all very disappointed. We were inches away from Breece Hall being a Kansas City Chief. It looks like Garrett Wilson was not even considered to be traded. Again, as we broke it down earlier, he's probably the one player you'd say this is the foundation of the future. He's a young wide receiver. The shelf life is a lot longer for a wide receiver than a running back. This retention makes no sense at all. Why the Jets would keep Breece Hall makes 0 sense at all. It does make 0 sense that you wouldn't at least offer a 3rd rounder. I mean, this is very similar impact to like the Christian McCaffrey trade at the time, back when everyone's like, well, you know, he's not worth much anymore. The Niners give up a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 4th, I believe, to get Christian McCaffrey. The fact that the equivalent value of a 3rd rounder for Breece Hall to a contender, to a team that can win, it makes no sense at all. None of this makes sense from this Breece Hall perspective. The teams that passed on him, the Jets not getting rid of him, not aggressively saying, let's make something happen. I mean, now they have to either tag him. We'll see what happens in the offseason, but he's going to require a new contract. And this team's rebuilding. This team is assembling 1st rounders, and there's just no room for this. And this is crazy. We'll break down all this other stuff and more. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. So I was going to go live again on the Brissett news because Brissett is starting for the Cardinals. But there's some... I want to save something for the 8 p.m. show. Plus, a lot of people are saying that Kyler's been benched, and in all intents and purposes, he has been essentially benched, but there's a lot of people drawing conclusions about that situation, so we'll break it down in more. But first, I want to just say that the Chiefs offered a 4th round pick to the Jets, and the Jets wanted a 3rd. This close to getting it done. It's a ridiculously small amount of value. I'll never understand these GMs and NFL organizations that value draft picks that they miss on about half the time over proven commodities like Breece Hall. You get Breece Hall on your roster, Mahomes is better. Rice is better. The defense is better. It makes no sense whatsoever to not give up or surrender a 3rd round pick for Breece Hall. If I was a GM, I'd probably get worked over in trades because I'd see this and go, one first rounder, you're done. Because he's worth it. I know that the market value across the NFL GMs is not the same as the market value I perceive. And I get that. And of course, if I was really a GM, I would be getting away with what I could get away with. I'm not a moron. But I would definitely be overpaying in scenarios like this where a team, nobody else is giving up a 3rd rounder. I could swoop in and give up 2 3rd rounders. I would do that. I would overpay if I had to get aggressive to get a player like Breece Hall on my roster. Pretty crazy. The Chiefs didn't see this, yes, BBQ, as a Super Bowl move. Because it was. It was an easy decision to make. I mean, even the Seattle Seahawks, if you think about it, I love Charbonnet and Walker. I am not trying to suggest that I want that situation to be cloudier. But from a football perspective, you could trade Walker or Charbonnet away. You could have acquired Breece Hall for a 3rd rounder. What do you think Seattle does with that? I mean, that would be unbelievable. And I'm not – the Niners, there was talk about the Niners, and I know we always joke around about our Niner people that'll be in here. And we have a lot of Niner fans in here, and we love our Niner fans. Sometimes they look through some goggles that have Niners on the side of them. But they always think they're getting everybody in a trade. Niner fans are funny like that. But this would have been good. I mean, the Niners they could use CMC as a slot wide receiver, probably keep him healthy the rest of the regular season, and do a 1-2 punch Breece Hall situation. I mean, I would definitely have attempted it if I was the Niners. I don't understand. And the Niners are the one team that they have an enormous amount of picks in the arsenal from all these coaching compensation picks that they get. Breece Hall should have been traded today. Breece Hall should have been traded today for a team that did make out pretty good in the grand scheme of things for a rebuilding team. Not saying getting rid of Sauce Gardner is good for a team's win-loss, record, but when you're the Jets and you can't do anything with Sauce Gardner, it's better to trade Sauce Gardner. And the Jets have an arsenal, a war chest of first rounders and second rounders, and that's absolutely fantastic for the Jets. They're doing the right thing with what they have, but then they crap the bed, the diarrhea the bed on this situation, because this man is a running back with a shelf life that you could have traded away and you didn't. Now, granted, I would have not done it for a fourth rounder, but I would have got creative. I would have got extra aggressive. I would have started this process earlier. There's a lot of ways we could argue why this didn't go down. You could say, well, Smitty, would you have given up Breece Hall for a fourth rounder? No, I wouldn't have, but I would have started this process so far downstream that you wouldn't be in the 11th hour trying to push the Chiefs into doing it for a fourth round pick. That's the problem. And that's the problem with this Jets team as a whole. Not knowing where they're at, when they're at, this point, that point, not knowing what the value is, what stage in the season they're at, the realistic evaluation and inward look at what the team needs, and is it capable of winning, and is it Justin Fields' fault? Do we name a starter? This coaching staff doesn't even name a starter. They never name a starter. Oh, we're going to wait. We're going to wait. We're going to make Fields feel so inferior that we're not naming a starter until kickoff. And this is the organization that is responsible for trying to inward look in the mirror and decide whether they have a team good enough to continue and march on or start dismantling it now. The Jets are cursed. They're a bad organization. I wish them well. I wish Breece Hall was off the roster. I wish Garrett Wilson was off the roster. Garrett Wilson, on this note, talking about Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson reportedly was nowhere near close to being traded. This report right here. Garrett Wilson was untouchable in trade talks with the Jets. And I don't blame the Jets for feeling that way. I'm not trying to say this is a bad take. But I feel bad because this man's not going anywhere. And I don't know who his quarterback's going to be next year. I don't know what surrounding supporting cast he's going to have next year. Maybe it works out just the right way where he has a team. The game script calls for lots of passing. We've seen receivers of Garrett Wilson's status and stature do amazingly with bad defenses and good game scripts. So hopefully that ends up being the case for Garrett Wilson, but certainly doesn't feel great right now. It just doesn't. Breece Hall was torn up all day long. This report right here was where it said that a little over an hour left in the deadline, and Breece Hall wants to be traded, I'm told, says Jordan Schultz. But Jordan Schultz posted this as if he probably didn't even have inside information on this, because Breece Hall himself was the one sending out tweets at this exact same time. So you're being told by the Twitter messages that you're reading, Jordan, when Breece Hall's putting sad face emojis out and replying to other posts that say Breece Hall's got 1 hour, and he's replying sad face emoji. Breece Hall, sounds like the Jets want a third rounder and they're not getting what they want. Breece Hall, sad face. Breece Hall then went on to post this Twitter post within the hour of the deadline. Breece Hall put this meme, which everyone was using, and Breece Hall used it back, where he's just kind of pretending to scrub the wall or whatever the hell the emoji is, and he's just waiting on pins and needles, and nothing happened. This poor man wanted to be traded. This poor man, Breece Hall, begged to be traded. This poor man would love to have played for the Kansas City Chiefs. And you know what this reminds me of? Barkley over in New York, not understanding how good it would have been somewhere else, right? Because he almost stayed. Barkley was trying his best to re-sign with the Giants, if you remember correctly and you watch Hard Knocks. He was asked, hey, do you think by Shinebox, do you think that you could give us the final say? Can you come back to us and let us counter? And Breece Hall, Saquon Barkley's like, yes. It's like, Saquon, what are you doing? You have a chance to get out and go play for another team. And you want your agent to actually bring the offer back. They brought it back. It was on Hard Knocks. And Shinebox said, no, we're not going to match that. And then the owner of the Giants walks in the room and goes, I sure hope he doesn't go to the Eagles. And then immediately Barkley goes to the Eagles. But little did Saquon know how good he was going to have it. And Breece Hall has been saying things like, I don't want to go anywhere. And he hasn't been making a big stink. And part of it, I don't want to say it's on him, but part of it is on the player when they need to get out of their toxic environment. And he's playing coy with it. He's putting up a social media post that's kind of like cryptic. And then the next minute he's interviewed and they're like, where do you want to be? And he's like, I want to be here. I want to be here. You've got little time to negotiate these trades. And when teams leave it to the 11th hour, and when you're not pushing hard enough, Breece Hall had no idea how good he was about to have it. Breece Hall has no clue how good he would have had it in KC. I wish this would have happened. We were so close to this happening. He just needed to be a little bit more squeaky, because the squeaky wheel would have potentially got that KC oil. But here we are. And now we've got this news right here. This is fantastic news. We thought the Cardinals were going to screw this up. They still have very much every chance in the world to screw this up. Now, I am being told, and I've seen it all over the place too, as of you guys as well, that Kyler Murray is 4 to 8 weeks away from being able to return anyway because of his foot. Now, we don't know how much of that is. Let's max out the worst case scenario so we can get Brissett more time. But the Briskinator is set to start. He is the starting quarterback for week number 10. This report right here from Ian Rappaport saying that the Cardinals are naming Jacoby Brissett their starting quarterback. And there are a lot of reports out there saying that Kyler's been benched. They're moving on. A lot of people are drawing a lot of conclusions. The Cardinals are still capable of screwing this up if Kyler does have a chance to come back. But the good news is with a 4 to 8 week window, Brissett would have to he's going to continue to earn the trust of the Cardinals and everyone watching, the commentators. It's all going to have a lot of pressure, immense pressure to stick with him if he's playing well. So if he's not playing well, then Kyler will have an opportunity in 4 to 8 weeks to come back. I know everyone's saying he's benched, but he's not. Kyler's not healthy enough to play. And then Gannon, trying to salvage his situation, says, well, I really like the way things are playing. Brissett will start. But he's almost saying that about his other quarterbacks that he has on roster too. Like, let's not give Gannon any more credit than Gannon's due, because Gannon, after the game last night, before he knew that there was a 4 to 8 week window for Kyler Murray, said that nothing's changed. Kyler's still his quarterback until Kyler Murray can't even suit up for a game for 4 to 8 weeks. Now Gannon's making this great decision, and he's trying to curb this thing and guide the ship in the right direction, where we're smarter than that. We know Kyler Murray's trash. Kyler Murray needs to go to another team. Maybe someone can revive him. Look, other QBs have looked worse than Kyler Murray and have been revived. Baker Mayfield, look how good he looks. Sam Darnold, look how good Sam Darnold is right now. Maybe another coach can take Kyler Murray and sculpt him and mold him. Maybe Mike McDaniel gets fired in Miami and he goes to Miami to be the quarterback over there. I don't know. I don't like that idea, although, because I don't think he throws the H-hand enough, so I don't want that. But maybe he revives himself somewhere. I don't know. Probably not. He's not a very good quarterback. He can't see over the offensive line. There's more problems at play than Kyler Murray's accuracy or decision-making. I don't even think he knows how to use a check-down method or progression. I don't think he understands progressions at all, because he comes out of interviews saying, yeah, the coaches sometimes have me throwing to MHJ, sometimes they don't. That's the dumbest comment I've ever heard for a quarterback. And nobody asks questions. Like, why is Kyler saying that? What about progressions? What about checkdowns? What about impromptu? You can't just say, oh, we're throwing to this guy every play. Or are they? Is that what the Cardinals have been doing? Because why is Kyler saying that? Kyler should never be saying that. A quarterback that actually goes through progressions would never say, sometimes my coaches have me throwing to him sometimes. You know what a quarterback that knows what he's talking about would say to that? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. When I'm out there, I don't know who I'm throwing to. A good quarterback doesn't have it planned out every game. Maybe Kyler's so short he couldn't see over the line. They had to do that. Who the hell knows? But Gannon should be gone. He should be fired. Gannon didn't recognize after last night's game that Brissett should have been the starter. It took a news report about Kyler being out 4 to 8 weeks for Gannon to say, I like the way this is going. We're going to stick Brissett in there. And everybody's like, well, Gannon made the right decision. He benched Kyler Murray. He didn't bench Kyler Murray. He got forced into a box, and he said, well, Kyler Murray can't play for 4+ weeks. I think I'll keep Brissett in there because he did look good. So anybody giving Gannon credit like Gannon made the right move, you don't know what you're talking about. It's asinine. All of it. MHJ, though, at the end of the day, goes up in value. Why? Because the brisket knows how to target, knows how to go through progressions, knows how to check down, knows how to find his wide receiver, impromptu, second chance routes. A guy like MHJ running down one direction with Kyler, it ends there. Because Kyler's either sacked or he throws the ball away or makes a bad decision or runs the other direction because he's traveling west. And Kyler and MHJ's got a designed go route to stretch the field, and that's it. Well, now Brissett might audible. Brissett might be impromptu-like on the field. MHJ might say, you know what? I might still get the ball. Let me continue on and track Brissett, and Brissett can see over the line, and now a second chance route means something to MHJ. I'm not saying MHJ returns to our expectation level, which was honestly top 12. And I think it still could be, but I'm no way in hell I'm going to put myself in a position where I'm banking on the Cardinals to make this guy a top 12 wide receiver when he could have been a top 12 wide receiver on a handful of other teams. But this is good news. This is increased value. MHJ goes up in value. There's no doubt about that. But we don't know exactly what it means. Here's the breakdown on the final 2025 trade tally, October, November. You can take a gander at that. Sauce Gardner, probably one of the biggest names. Indianapolis, second line down. A.D. Mitchell went to the Jets. This made us think maybe there was a shot that Garrett Wilson could be traded because they acquired a wide receiver in that Sauce trade, but it ended up not being the case. Williams to Dallas was huge, but at the end of the day, was it? Is this like, okay, hey, Jerry Jones, you need to pour oil in your big rig there, your tractor truck. If you don't put oil in it, you're going to burn the engine up. I don't know if I'm putting the oil in it. I don't know if I will or not. I'm not going to put oil in it. I'm going to trade away the oil. And so you trade away the oil. You start running the engine over and over and over for months without oil in it. You're burning up the motor. Your playoff hopes, a.k.a. the motor, are shot. And now you go ahead and buy a whole gallon of oil, and you're going to pour it in the engine when the damage is done. The fact that we're sitting here, Chief spelled wrong. Damn autocorrect. I swear I spelled that wrong. Well, you know, the Chief should be spelled wrong for not making that move. Jerry going and getting Williams now is like putting oil in your engine after all, when you've already burned up the motor, is my point. Shaheed to Seattle is a great move for Darnold and Njigba. Shaheed, it does probably improve his stock a little bit because he's got a good quarterback throwing to him again, like T. Higgins in a number 2 role in Cincy's better than the number 1 role somewhere else. You could very much look at Shaheed that way. But I think Shaheed still could be up and down, and he's got to prove to stay healthy. The guy can't stay healthy. So really, this is about Darnold's stock going on the rise. It's about Njigba going on the rise, and Njigba goes up. And of course, Tyler Warren with the Sauce Gardner field position, football near the end zone more often, stock on the rise for Tyler Warren and Danny Dimes. This is a good move. Sauce Gardner for both of them. Jacoby Myers, Jacksonville. Who cares? You're going to have Jacoby Myers, Smitty. But Smitty. I have Jacoby Myers. He has to be good, right? I think things will get better for him, right, Smitty? I've always liked Jacoby Myers. I haven't really been the biggest Jacoby Myers supporter on this channel. And I don't think it does anything. I don't care. He's going to a crowded wide receiver room with a quarterback that just can't, and I don't even know how much of it's T-Law's fault, but it doesn't matter. We can't separate T-Law from his situation and try and dissect this thing through osmosis. We don't know what T-Law is. We never will. So it is what it is. The situation and T-Law are binded together, and he's starting to ruin himself and destroy his value and his upside. And it doesn't matter what could happen. Oh, what it could have, should have. Well, we don't know. T-Law is trash. The Jaguars are a mess. I like ETN. I like Tootin. I think that could be something that salvages for sure. But we have no idea how this wide receiver room is going to look. And while I'm still hopeful long-term for Travis Hunter, I don't know what in the hell's in store for him this year. They don't know how to utilize him. And in the offseason, I was wrong expecting and thinking that this Jaguars staff and team could handle him playing both sides of the ball. It's not about Hunter playing both sides of the ball. He did not fail playing both sides of the ball. The Jaguars were not prepared and could not handle the organizational processes that were involved in making this man successful and making their playbook and execution successful, with T-Law making the decisions. Legacy game last couple weeks ago, my ass. Legacy game. T-Law legacy game. Legacy game. How about destruction of value game? So, regardless, was I wrong on Travis Hunter? Not on talent, but I was wrong in thinking that this situation could support what they had planned for him. And it's just been a disaster. But back to Jakobi Meyers. You expect Jakobi Meyers to thrive in a situation that BTJ and Travis Hunter can't thrive in? You expect Jakobi Meyers to walk in and become some sort of a glimpse of consistency in a situation where BTJ's falling apart, Travis Hunter isn't getting it done or wasn't getting it done. He's about to get wide receiver 1 treatment. Well, I'll believe that when I see it. It's crazy when you think about the landing spots that these rookies have had. Smitty, you're an idiot sometimes. Well, here, how about we just send you away? Now you don't have to watch my show anymore. So hopefully the show wasn't important to you, because that wasn't a very, very nice thing to say to your boy. So you're gone. I'm not in the mood for that. So see you later. Go find another show. This is what I think right now. I think that I can't believe, and I think the Raiders situation is going to look up for Genty. Genty actually has a very good landing spot. A very good landing spot.
You're done.
All right, moving on. Very good landing spot for Genty in the grand scheme. Bowers hasn't been there. Look at Bowers back, Geno 4. I'm not saying Geno's good, but Bowers back, Geno 4 touchdowns. Genty getting a touchdown, Genty getting usage, Genty getting about 20 fantasy points. There's a world where this works out regardless. Regardless, right? It doesn't matter if they're a championship team or a playoff team or anything. They're going to score points. Bowers was the puzzle piece. Bowers was removed. And then it just unraveled for everybody because it's one-dimensional. Just like when we look at a situation like, you look at anything where one piece of the equation is taken out, like a quarterback for the Bengals, and you say Chase Brown. Look how bad Chase Brown was. Look how great Chase Brown is. Look how good Chase Brown is as a talent, and everybody jumping off the Chase Brown train. But Chase Brown needed that puzzle piece. You take one of the big puzzle pieces out, especially when it's a quarterback. Even if your quarterback like Browning's kind of been proven in the past, can't deliver the ball, it's all crap. Chase Brown shouldn't have as much to do with his quarterback situation. I mean, it's going to definitely hurt him, but why is Chase Brown garbage without a good quarterback? Because the Bengals were garbage without a good quarterback. Not because he can't respond or do what he's got to do. There's certain situations. The Raiders were garbage without Brock Bowers. They were trash. They will be trash. They'll always be trash. If Brock Bowers goes down, knock on wood, Genty's back in one of the worst situations a running back can be in. But Genty's quietly sitting in a pretty damn good spot right now because we have Geno Smith, who's not very good, but plays pretty well from a moving the football down the field and touchdowns and fantasy points perspective. Brock Bowers needs this, and this perspective. Genty now has room because Bowers is stretching the field, commanding all kinds of defensive attention. Genty lives in a pretty good spot right now. I'm pretty excited, but where I went on a tangent trying to say is these rookies, Hunter, horrible spot. It just was a horrible spot. Hendy, I mean, it's a great team. They're winning, but horrible situation he's landed in. I think it does continue to go up. Hendy got 80% of the snaps at the running back position, and people are crying and complaining about it, acting like he's a drop candidate. Let's see where that goes. Harvey's starting to get fed, but it's amazing that all these rookies, these high-end rookies, landed in these spots where they're not being used or used properly It's an anomaly. And it doesn't scare me away from drafting rookies. If anything, the fact that everybody else will be so scared away from drafting rookies, I believe that we will still very much love rookies walking into this year because the rest of the world will be pushing them down rounds out of fear. And so we're going to look at the running back love. We'll do a whole incoming rookie, probably the end of December, definitely January 1 breakdown. Who do we like? Who do we think is the early candidate? We were on Scattaboo before anybody. We were on a bunch of these guys before anybody. We're going to be on top of that. We're going to be all over it. But I think that this has just been one of the wildest rookie landing spot unveilings, unravelings, unfoldings we've ever seen with a group of really good rookies. It's been a disaster. Not to mention all the other injuries that have just ensued. Here's more of that Brissett news. Brissett is the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Again, great news. And then major shift in Arizona. Jonathan Gannon said that if Kyler Murray was healthy, he was going to make the decision to go Jacoby Brissett as their starting quarterback. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. And this is where a lot of the benching news came into play. But Gannon said so many confusing things. Don't act like Gannon benched Kyler Murray. Don't say it. It's not true. Oh, Smitty, Kyler Murray got benched. He did not get benched. Gannon is trying to use the media to repair his image and save his job because Gannon said after the game, nothing's changed. He's incompetent. He's not a good coach. He doesn't know what he's doing. A major shift. Gannon, I was going to go ahead and do that anyway. That's like asking me a start bench question after the games have played. And I go, I definitely would have started. I would have started Pittman over, over JJ. No, definitely before. Yeah, if I would have, going backwards, I would have done that. Who the hell cares? The good news is Kyler can't play for 4 to 8 weeks. That's why Gannon is going with Brissett, not because Gannon knows what he's doing. So just want to clarify that. And A.J. Brown, this guy is a diva beyond divas. Part of me feels bad for him because he needs the ball, should get the ball, doesn't get the ball. The guy looks like he's aged like a president. You know, when you're a president, your 4 years is like basically 20 years. I mean, A.J. Brown looks like he's just been going through it. And he's stressed as can be. And when you've got Howie Roseman saying things like when you're trying to be a great team, it's hard to trade great players. And I don't blame Howie either, by the way, especially if a great offer didn't come in. But does anybody think this is going to wet the beak of the man on screen here, A.J. Brown? I don't know, man. Diva mode, injury, can't stay healthy, knee surgeries, all kinds of injuries, compensation injuries because of those injuries, cutting away his meniscus. At some point, he will become Julio Jones. The last year or two, Julio tried to hang on. At some point, he becomes A.J. Green the last year or two when A.J. Green tries to hang on. I'm not saying he can't have one more elite season, but I do fear that we'll get a Mike Evans type of season moving forward. If it's not next year, it will definitely be the next year in my mind, at least. My prediction is that anyway. That it's possible you see this bright light and then boom, injury. Bright light, injury. Can't stay healthy, doesn't matter. Dynasty, trade him. Redraft, have hope. If you can't sell high, have hope that he comes back and has a couple monster games because he's certainly capable of it. Here are all the trades that went down. I'll put this one on screen if anybody wants to take a gander. These are the NFL trade tracker moves for the entire season, I believe. Or a big part of it. I don't know. We got the Tank Bigsby, Jaguars to the Eagles. You got all this. You can take a gander, take a screenshot of that. You can pause it, go back to it, whatever. There's a lot of trades there, a lot of moves. Kind of interesting to look at them all at once. BTJ. Oh, what do you know? BTJ dealing with the low-grade high ankle sprain. But has a chance to play. Does he? Does he have a chance to really play, or does he have a chance to go out there and lollygag? Because the last I heard, lollygagging gets you no fantasy points. This guy's got no dog in him. He's got no drive. He's got no determination. He looks like a one-dimensional player out there just standing around. I look at BTJ now, and I see a totally different person. I see a quitter. I see somebody that doesn't put his all into it. I see somebody that's been complaining at early stages of unraveling instead of putting in the work for a whole year, backing your team. I mean, this is part of why T-Law's falling apart. I'm not saying T-Law would have been an amazing player or that the Jaguars would have been at a different spot, but I will say it didn't help when this guy's complaining from the jump. And I think while he looked like he was excited to have Travis Hunter there, like he finally got a big brother from the Stork, and the Stork brings him a little brother, and he acts like he's excited. Well, this guy's been tripping his little brother and probably not very happy that his little brother's there. He wanted to be an only child. And now he's crying and complaining. He's constantly dealing with injuries. Are they real? Are they fake? He's giving up on plays. This guy's not a superstar. It is what it is. He showed that he's a one-hit wonder, one-year wonder. And do I think if he went somewhere else, he could revitalize himself? Maybe. Maybe. It's certainly possible. We looked at Baker Mayfield. We looked at Sam Darnold. I know these are quarterbacks, but these are players that we completely wrote off. Danny Dimes completely written off, a joke until he goes to Indy. And I know he had a struggle bus week last week, but could BTJ be in that realm? Sure, it's possible. But right now, I don't like what I see. Right now, I see a quitter. Right now, I see a lollygagging wide receiver that doesn't know how to try hard if you begged him to. And you told him that the Super Bowl is on the line. He wouldn't do it. Brandon Ayuk, I said not to pick this guy up at all this year. Draft him, pick him up. Nothing, doesn't matter. He's if he even comes back, he's going to be very, very hard to trust on any level. 49ers coach Shanahan said that the team would not open up the 21-day practice window for Brandon Ayuk, knee PUP this week. Not to say he won't play this year, but this is probably somebody they don't even know when they want to get him out there and re-injure him for, it's going to be some time. 49ers coach Shanahan said the timeline for Ricky Parasol remains fuzzy. His team completely injured. They lost their rookie Williams also to an ACL tear. The injuries just keep piling up for the Niners. Aaron Wilson believes the expectation is CJ Stroud will not practice Wednesday or possibly any days this week, and that Davis Mills will start. This is not great for Nico, but Nico can still survive. I still think Nico is a good buy low. Might even make him an even better buy low, cheaper buy low. Jets are asking for a third-round pick. That was another report that we had, and obviously that didn't work out. Breece Hall very bummed. I'm bummed. You're all bummed about it. Here's that Williams trade. We covered it earlier on a live stream, but wow, did we? Maybe we didn't actually. We didn't actually go live on this one yet. So Williams, what an addition, sure, on paper, but again, the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I covered at the beginning of this stream. Jerry Jones putting oil in the vehicle a little late when he's already burned up the engine. Like, what's wrong with you, Jerry? You just don't know what you're doing, man. And you're trading draft picks for, you could have just re-signed your players, Trade Shaheed. Again, we went over the Shaheed situation. We went over the Sauce Gardner situation. Went over the Jacoby Myers situation. I think we pretty much have all of the news covered. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe this clean. Or I'll just move it all over to the side. We'll get to Super Chats when maybe answer phone calls. Don't forget daylight savings kicked in. So this show is still 8 p.m. Eastern. Some of you that shifted, if you're in California, the show time shifted. If you're in Arizona time, then it shifted an hour. But we're definitely still live 8 p.m. That doesn't change. 8 p.m. Eastern. Just to make it simple, I've always decided I was going to go after Eastern time for the show time. We got about 1,000 people in the building overall. We got about 102 from X. We got about 804 from YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button. If you're new, I'd love to have you be here for the long haul. We go live whenever news breaks. This is the third live stream today. I also go live at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday, like I just said. And then I'm also additionally live, not only 8 p.m. every day, but we're live whenever big news breaks, but also additionally live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. So we'll be back for that. We got a $20 hauler here from Miami. Miami, I appreciate you dropping the WAD on screen. Also got another $20 hauler that just came in from Kyle. Kyle, appreciate you. Was 0-3, 8-man league from aggressive trades. I'm 4-5 thanks to you. Got offered St. Brown for Saquon. I have London, Garrett Wilson, Pittman, Rome, Rice, McLaurin, and Henry, Javonte Williams, Dalvin Cook, James Cook maybe, Cook. Let's see here. So the trade is St. Brown for Saquon. I'd probably rather have St. Brown, but if I could get Saquon and a player to make this feel more even Miami, I would probably do the trade. I would probably, but it'd have to be a specific player. I need to know who it is, and it'd have to be a really good asset. But I think I want St. Brown overall. Trade deadline 11-8, PPR, Dimes, Burrow, Bijan, Gibbs, Benson, Hendy, Algier, Rice, Tet, Diggs, Tucker, Warren. Offered my Gibbs and Diggs for Jacoby, Adams. Thoughts? Or Jacobs, sorry. Jacoby's on the mind. Jacobs and Adams. I'd rather have Gibbs and Diggs. Not even close, Kyle. It's not. There's no way I'm doing that trade. Absolutely zero chance. Zero. Appreciate you, BBQ, dropping the wattage on screen. I'll put both of BBQ's messages here on screen. Thank you, BBQ. BTJ spent much time with moms, and now he sounds like he's a Karen at the PTA meetings for sure, bro. For sure. I don't think he's a Karen because he's not even vocal enough. It's like he's not going to. He's like the quiet Karen or something, or the Karen, the sidekick that Karen has that's recording. Keep recording, BT. Keep recording. And the Karen's actually out there complaining. He's not even a Karen. He's not even a good Karen. Thoughts on Harvey with Thursday Night Football? Looks like he's getting those design plays now. Any word on Mondre's toe? No word yet. Mondre, turf toe, we think it is. I mean, the fact that they said, this coaching staff said that he's certainly not in play this week, that makes me feel like it's a multiple week injury, but I don't know. Anything can happen. We're just kind of on the mercy of the news. As far as Harvey, I do like him this week. He's definitely a high risk, high reward play as we await, more solidified workload. But J.K. Dobbins staying healthy, still a tall order. At some point, I do think we get a Harvey, full go season. 0.5 PPR, trade away BTJ for Kincaid. I definitely take Kincaid if you need a tight end. It's just a safer move. A.J. Brown or Rome. Probably still lean A.J. Brown for the trade value alone, but if I'm in a vacuum and I've got to make a decision, I probably would say Rome value for, or expectation output measurement, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I do factor in trade value as well. I feel like you should get more at the very least. So if you're going to get Rome, try and upgrade something else. Fannin or Loveland rest of season. I think Loveland by a hair for the same reason. The trade value of Loveland's much higher than Fannin. But if I'm in a vacuum, I do think Fannin could be better. Drop Mason for Tracy. I don't hate that move. I think it depends on your situation. Position of need can dictate that one. I want to retire a Jet. Words never heard in the NFL. I want to retire a Jet. That's certainly the case. A.J. Brown and Pat Mahomes for Garrett Wilson and Dart. I'd rather have A.J. Brown and Pat Mahomes by 1,000, times 1,000. But I definitely would be, like I said, making moves and trades and using A.J. Brown's value. Trade away Gadsden for Adunze. I'd rather have Gadsden if you don't have a tight end, but since you have Bowers, I think this is actually a pretty decent trade. I do think Adunze is going to be really good. It sucks Hall didn't get traded, held on to Davis forever. That's why I said when people ask me, what do you think about Isaiah Davis? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Even if he gets in there, what's he going to do with that offense depleted? If they sell Breece, they're tearing it down. So Davis is not going to be in the same offense or have the same defense, right? If Breece did get traded, Isaiah Davis would have a better, worse defense, worse field position. None of it would have necessarily worked out. So I was never on the Isaiah Davis train. ETN for Pickens, I think it's pretty dead even. I think if you need a receiver, I like the Pickens side. If you need a running back, I think the ETN side's fine. There's enough risk with ETN that it makes sense to make this move, to be honest. And there's enough upside for ETN to make this move if you needed a running back. If Brissett starts rest of the season, where do you rank? Where does he rank? I think he's like in you're injured and hit with buys, and you're debating Danny Dimes versus Brissett versus J.J. McCarthy for matchup reasons, or Joe Flacco matchup reasons. He's right there. I'd probably want Flacco over him, but he's certainly right below that, and he's a decent play for people that are dire straits and lost Burrow and other quarterbacks. JD5. 8-team Dynasty, Grandma League, Neighbors, Bo Pickens, May. I don't know what this is asking here, Drew. Neighbors, Bo Pickens, May. There's no indication as to what's being traded or moved, or you're gonna have to clarify that. You just have names listed. I don't know what you're asking me to do there. I appreciate you, and I would definitely love to help you. I just don't know what to say there. My Jefferson, his Puka. Don't trust Puka's health. I'm fine with this on either side. You're not crazy to want either one. Dead even to me. If I was in 2 leagues side by side drafting for now moving forward, I would take one and one on the other. I do believe in JJ. I still believe in JJ. He loves JJ McCarthy, and so there's belief there. Hey, Smitty, can you show the waiver board? Yeah, the waiver board is, I think we added like 1 or 2 guys to it, so I'm not positive that it's the exact same. Let's see here. It's right here. So screenshot that. That's the waiver board. Screenshot that. Pause that. Whatever you got to do. But there definitely is, I think, a player or 2 that we added. I just don't. Thanks, Caden. Appreciate you. Judkins and Marv or Breece Hall and Ladd. Give me Judkins and Marv. Don't trust the Jets at all, obviously. Just traded Rice and AJ and Hendy. Let's see, for AJ and Hendy. Do I take a lap? I'd rather have Rice by quite a bit. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not horrible. Anything can happen, but Watson, Tez, Pierce, Downs, pick one, need upside. I don't know. I probably would say, if it's me, I'm taking Pierce or Downs. I kind of like Downs more than Pierce, though. But that's me. I think Downs could maybe get a little bit more consistent moving here. What indie wide receiver would you pick up off waivers, Downs or Pierce? I'm going to say Downs. Would also trade Ibuka for CD. I would probably say I'd take CD by a hair. But I love both of them, and I'm definitely worried about Dallas a little bit. But this little injection in defensive, it will help, even if they can't win, make a playoff berth or whatever out of it. It's still going to be better. So I'd take CD. Traded Warren for Garrett Wilson, have Gadsden. I'm fine with this move. I do worry about whether Garrett Wilson's just going to be like, I don't want to say like completely irrelevant, but I just wonder what this team's going to look like. Maybe they'll be playing from behind in such a perfect way. Trade my Debo to get Hendy. I'd rather have Hendy in a heartbeat. Debo or Gadsden, I'd rather have Gadsden. Even if I didn't need Gadsden, I'd trade Gadsden. You can get more in trade. Bucky, Booty, Pop Douglas, Pitts for Breece, Laporta, Shakir, and Fab. Bucky side for me. Bucky side for me all day. I like Breece. I love Breece, but I don't trust that situation. You're taking on a little risk. Make sure you understand that we could get bad news about Bucky tomorrow. It's tough to say. Drop Love for Darnold. Yes. Dart after that in that order. Darnold, Dart, or Brissett. In that order. I'd probably rather have Love than Brissett. No, I think Love and Brissett are equals. I'd almost rotate that based on matchup. Need a QB because Mahomes, Fields, and Mariota, Bryce Young, or JJ McCarthy. I think I'd probably say JJ McCarthy maybe. But I think this would be matchup based each week, so I don't know. I guess this week I'd probably go JJ McCarthy. Trade offer Achane for Hall and Sutton. No, not even close for me. I don't trust. I like Breece Hall. I don't trust the Jets. I don't want to get into that situation. 4 and 5. Dart, Darnold, Rice, Nico, Flowers, Ladd, Gibbs, Javonte, Etienne. Send Javonte and Etienne for Judkins. I think it's a little too much. I think Javante's getting discarded too much here. I think he's still very, very good. Feel like the Cowboys will play from behind. Maybe, but they just improved their defense, Rudy. I mean, I think things should improve in terms of that fear. But Etienne, but I don't know that it does anything. It's not enough time for the playoffs. That's why Jerry's a moron. But no, I think it's a little too much. I think if you added something else in, I could get behind it. I definitely don't hate the idea and where you're trying to sculpt that to go, but I don't think it's the right move exactly. 6 and 3 PPR, Knicks, Gibbs, Jalen Warren, Hendy, Benson, Hampton, CD, Buka, Downs. Trade Jalen Warren for Drake London or Drake May. I assume this is Drake London. Honestly, I'd probably say if it's Drake May and you've got Knicks, you don't need it. But if it's Drake London, there's no one's going to do that. But if they did, then yes, I'm fine with that trade. Absolutely. I don't think. Oh, this is a quarterback. Okay, Drake May. So Jalen Warren, because you said or roll with Bix or Bo Nix. I didn't continue reading. Drake May. I'd rather have Drake May than Jalen Warren. And then I think I trade Drake May or Jalen Warren for. I think I get more with all the starving quarterback dilemmas everybody has. Plus, I'd just rather have Drake May as a rotational player, and he's a top 5 guy. 3 and 5, 10-team PPR, 2 flex. Wide receivers are Rashee, Garrett Wilson, MHJ, Flowers, Addison, Brissett, new starter. Keep MHJ and offer Garrett Wilson and Addison for Ibuka. I'm kind of torn on whether I want MHJ or Garrett Wilson. I think if I had 2 leagues, it'd be the same thing. 1 and 1 and 1 and the other. Chat, can you vote on... Can you guys please vote on MHJ or Garrett Wilson moving forward so we can help H13? I don't think you're making a mistake either way. I would say trust your gut on which one you want to retain. I guess I'd rather have MHJ right now, given that I trust the Cardinals and the way they're playing more than I trust the Jets and the way they're going to play. Need to trade for a running back, have PPR, have Genty. Okay. Of Nico, Buka, and Rice, which one would you give up rest of season for? What running back would you target? So Nico, Buka, Rice. I'd rather give up Nico because Stroud's injured now. We don't know how that's going to go. I love Rice and Buka. The bye week sucks, but it is what it is. I don't think I sacrifice Rice because of a bye week. I would say Nico, and if you can get a player like, hard to say you're going to get a Jacobs, but you could. Chase Brown, you could. Genty, you could. I'd start there. Those 3 are probably my favorite players to try and acquire at this level of value. You could say ETN if you're getting Tootin somehow. But Husseini with a $5 hauler. So mad my Chiefs didn't get Breece. You were this close, bro. They should have pushed it. 3rd rounder. What in the hell's wrong with them? I would have offered a 3rd and Pacheco for sure. Imagine Breece and Smith and Hunt and... At least my Judkins playing the Jets D this week. Thank you, Husseini. Appreciate you dropping the fire per usual, my boy. Husseini to the mother freaking moon. Hey, Smitty, 12-team, Superflex, 5 and 4. Any moves trying to get Judkins owner Lost Craft? Don't trade Jettas. Don't trade Rice. Don't trade Buka. Don't trade Rico. I don't think so, bro. I mean, unless you're moving Jordan Mason, Harvey, Fannin, and Njoku to get Judkins, which you're not going to. The only player I would move for Judkins would be, I mean, I do love Judkins and Rico about the same. And I would maybe trade Jettas for Judkins and something. So if you could come back with an offer that shows me you're getting a second player that I love, I could downgrade to, JJ to Judkins in that scenario, but probably that one alone. IR, do I drop 2 for a QB and a kicker? Should I drop 2? Don't want to drop Dak or Aubrey on a bye. JCM's easy to drop. I'm sorry, but he is. Godwin's on IR, so it doesn't matter. Hampton's on IR, you can't. Christian Watson. If you want to drop 2 players, and I'm telling you, like, I'm not really sweating it at all, it'd be Christian Watson and JCM. Big deal. Not a big deal, bro. I could have backfired, maybe. Maybe. Josh Allen, Bijan, Woody, Sharp, St. Brown, Buka, Ladd, Pitts, Loveland. How can I upgrade running back 2? Was offered Monungai and Worthy for Benson and my Bigsby. Monungai and Worthy for Benson and Bigsby. I would say give me Monungai and Worthy. Monungai is just really, really solid right now. I think you're crushing on that side of the trade. Josh Allen, Monungai and Worthy for sure. That's probably one of the easier calls of the night. Traded Breece, Debo, Pitts for Rice, Bill. Breece, Debo, Pitts. I'd take Rice in a heartbeat. No question about it. Not even close. I don't care about giving up multiple players. Lamar, Bucky, White, ETN, Tootin, Hendy, Hampton, Hunt, CD, Nico, Tez. Shout out to you. Traded BTJ for Bowers in week 2. That's what you like to hear. That's what you like to hear. I smell meatloaf. Bro's killing the game. Traded BTJ. Nice job. So as far as this one, I like the team. ETN, Tootin, you got that covered. Bucky, White covered. Lamar, Nico, CD. I feel like it's pretty good. I don't know that there's a lot of movability here. Of course, I'd love to trade out of ETN, Tootin into a James Cook or something, but hard to do. Into a Achane, hard to do. Into a Judkins, I'd trade both those running backs into Achane, into Judkins, into Genty, maybe even. Bucky, I think I just roll the dice on the Bucky train because you have Rashad White. Nico for damn, man. I mean, what wide receiver? Nico's so hard to trade right now. He hasn't been blowing up at all. He's got his quarterback down. I don't think you're getting anything that you, unless you're getting Buka somehow and you're trading, let's say, you don't really have any Hampton to move Nico into a Buka, to move Nico into a, that's it. There's not much you can do. I like the team. I think I stand down. Bowers is such a secret weapon for you, bro. Your team looks unreal with that Bowers addition. You go through the team, you're like, good, it's a good team. Oh, Bowers, he's sitting down there at the bottom. It's like a bowling pin, value, boom. In a spot where I have to move Puka 2 and 7, got offered Rome and Marv, don't accept. You deserve to get a lot more than that. I know you got to make a move, but that's not it. Just remember it's Tuesday. You got a lot of time still. Shaheed owner here. Do you think his value goes up much with the Seahawks? A little bit, but I'm not sitting here going, oh my God, I got a gold mine. I think it could go up. I think it's better for Darnold and for JSN than it is actually for Shaheed, but he should be okay. Trade Kittle and Harvey for Javonte, have Gadsden. Kittle and Harvey for Javonte. I think I'd do that too if I needed a running back now. And while I love Harvey and I think Harvey could become the best player in the entire deal, he's not there yet, and so it's a good move. Trade Adams for Dowdle. I think it's a dead even trade depending on if you need a running back or wide receiver. So I'm totally Smitty approving both sides of that for if you guys are both getting a position of need. Trade Dobbs and Olave for Breece Hall. I probably would take Breece Hall on this gamble. That would be a good move. And you could even move him pretty easily in trades. So trade away Monty and Dobbs to get Breece Hall. I think I just did that one. Or is this a different trade? It might be, but anyway, I like Breece Hall, but Monty's not bad. Like you could say Monty, is kind of sneaky, I suppose. Sorry, I'm not as active lately, Shoddy. It's okay. Pops has this strange stage 4. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Doctor says he has 2 to 6 months, but only God knows. Appreciate Smitty fam, absolute legends. Let's send him some meatloaf.
I smell meatloaf.
And give him a mashed potato.
Mashed potatoes!
And let's send Pops to Jupiter.
To Jupiter.
Sorry to hear all that, but glad to have you here, Shoddy. Keep doing your thing, bro. We'll be here when you need us. Sorry, Dynasty offer. Bo Neighbors for Pickens May. Give me Bo Neighbors if it's 1 QB. If it's super flex, it changes it to making it a little closer, but yeah. $20 hauler from our boy Amari.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Amari, appreciate you. Young says Fields or Brissett off waivers. Brissett, he's just safer. And then this one here, Barkley for Judkins and Jalen Warren. I'd rather have probably Barkley in a vacuum and then trade Dobbins for Flowers. I'd probably rather have Flowers, but pretty even. So this $20 hauler, 5 and 4, full PPR, QB, 6 points. Traded Diggs and Sharps for Darnold and Pickens. I'm fine with the Darnold and Pickens side. I like that a lot. I think it's a good move. I think any other moves to make would be if you could trade Bucky to get Dowdle and something, or to get Henry or Barkley, Achan. It's safer than waiting on this Bucky news. It seems odd that we're going in Tuesday without any information at all. But that's the only thing I'd kind of consider, but only if the price is right. Maybe Monangai helps you make that push to get that Achan or something. Past that, I like London, love Adunze, love the Darnold's even nice. Darnold McCarthy's not bad. Warren Fannin. If things got crazy, you could try and move Warren for a wide receiver like Nico or a JJ in some sort of deal. Monangai and Warren for JJ and something, or for a wide receiver. Kind of something to keep in mind and look at. Chris, appreciate you. Hey, Smitty, Warren, Bucky, or Bowers, Genty. Bowers and Genty for sure right now. With the concerns around Bucky, that's an easy call. Chris, yeah, easy call. I love Bucky, but you got to take that. Monangai worthy for Benson, Bigsby. I have Barkley. Monangai worthy. I think this is the one I might have answered already. Maybe not. These seem very similar. Monangai worthy. I'd probably say Monangai worthy for sure. Yeah, definitely. That's a good value. I mean, there's multiple ways that could help you, even if one of the facets doesn't work. Javonte for Judkins. I'd take Judkins. I like Javonte. I think he's getting undervalued for sure. But Hampton for Adunze. I'd rather have Adunze no way I'm waiting on Hampton when I can get that Odunze value, even though he didn't get anything this week. I still believe in him. Trade away Ibuka to get Tet and Hampton. Not even close. No way. Ibuka to the moon. No way. It's not even a good trade at all. Full PPR, trade Puka and Devontae Smith for Derrick Henry and JSN. And then you don't use any punctuation, but I assume, Tim, that Puka's where a different trade's going on. Puka and Devontae Smith for Henry and JSN, or trade Devontae Smith and McLaurin and Garrett Wilson for Gibbs and Odunze. These are all really close, bro. Trade Puka and Devontae Smith for Derrick Henry, JSN. I would probably say give me Henry and JSN. And Devontae Smith, Puka and Devontae Smith for Henry, JSN, or trade Devon. There's too many things here. You probably don't need to ask these in separate questions, but if I'm getting it wrong, trade Devontae Smith and McLaurin and Garrett Wilson for Gibbs and Odunze. Give me the Gibbs and Odunze. That side's probably the best one of them all. That's easy. If I had to rank them, that one is the crushing blow that puts your league mates on their knees, bro. What I appreciate about the show and community is the knowledge that covers all aspects of the game: draft, trades, injuries, GM mindset, and waiver moves. The process makes it easier to navigate the season moves. Thank you, Smitty. Look, we won't always get things right on this channel. Sometimes the adjust and adapting is what causes you to win your league. I think what is kind of a thing that makes people, I think, at a disadvantage that might watch the show, and maybe we have like a moment. Maybe there's 4 calls that I made. 70 great calls and 10 bad calls, but you drafted 8 of those 10 players, and you're freaking out and you're mad at me, and then you leave the channel, and then you miss out on the buy lows and the savior moves, like the Bowers, the Rico Dowdles, the situations that help salvage the Harveys, and then you don't give me a chance to help you with your situation to recover what you created for yourself. Then it's like, you're missing out on. It's like changing lanes in traffic. Fantasy is always going to be up and down. Sometimes we'll crush the draft and crush the offseason and crush the in-season. Sometimes we'll crush parts of the offseason, have some roadblocks, have some injuries, things that we can't control, but we always adjust and adapt. And if I can bring you guys anything, it's consistency and the best thinking I can give you at this moment in time moving forward, which is why I try and be as unbiased as possible. Because it doesn't matter what we said in the offseason. It doesn't matter if I didn't love Rico Dowdle last year. What matters is what I believe in him now in adjusting and adapting. If I was not an adjust and adapt person, if I brought my biases to the table, would I have loved Rico Dowdle this year? No, I would not have, because I didn't like him the year before. He's a whole different person. He's a whole different human. Looks like a clone that worked out and beefed up that they're going to have to send this man for substance abuse testing and say, Are you possibly taking something, because you look like 3 times the man you used to, and you look like a machine. Dowdle doesn't even look like the same player. He plays like he's a bat out of hell. Trade Warren and BTJ for Bowers. I would take Bowers. I love Warren, but Bowers is back. He's back, and it's looking great. Trade Fannin, Vidal, Woody Marks, Debo for Barkley. I'd take Barkley and run. Not even close at all. Thoughts on defense rest of season of Green Bay? They offered nothing. Tampa Bay looks solid with a great rest of season. Drop Green Bay for Tampa. I'm fine with that. I mean, look, it could go either way, but sure, I think Tampa looks pretty good. Especially, I think they come off the bye and look fantastic. Drop Giddens at this point. Horton to Washington. I like Horton, but now he's got competition. But yeah, that's fine. Rice, Higgins, Wandell, Nico, BTJ, Swift, Manungai, Tyler Warnkowski, Mooney, 12-man, 6-3, first place. Any moves to make? Rice, Higgins is good. Nico, I wish you put him in order, because Carolyn, I'm looking at this and it's like it's all spread out. So it's hard to judge it and give you a fair assessment. It's like I tell you, you show your house, you don't mow your lawn. You're trying to sell your house and you don't fix the leaky roof and there's a big stain in the middle of not listing your players in some sort of order just makes it harder for me to really give a good assessment, because I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I'd probably say, if I'm looking at this team, I'm tempted to trade Manungai on the high with Swift. I'm tempted to move Higgins on the high. I think your team looks pretty good. I don't know how I feel about let's see, Rice. So Rice, Nico, Higgins. So I'm trading BTJ. I'm trading Swift and Monangai. I'm trading. You might even trade. Look, your team's good. It's 6-3. So the way it's set up, you trade something that's working. You might mess it up, but BTJ, Swift, and Monangai for one player. I have a feeling in this league, and pardon me for being presumptuous, but I think that like a James Cook you could get for that. I think you could get an Achane, a James Cook. I think people are going to be sleeping on a few players like that. I think JJ could potentially be had for that. I think you could run into somebody that's got running back needs, and maybe you could trade that for Henry or Barkley. You kind of need a running back, though. So let's go the running back direction. Bucky injured. You might take a gamble. It's a gamble, though. You got to understand that. Judkins, go trade this for Judkins. That package for Judkins. Monangai, Swift, and BTJ for Judkins. For Henry, for Barkley, for James Cook, for Achane. I have a feeling you're getting one of those. Jacobs and something. Very, very doable, I think. Very, very doable. Thank you, Carolyn. Appreciate your super chat. Keep Buka in the 4th or Judkins in the 5th. Probably Buka, but love both of them. Trade Achane for Dowdle and Genty. I think I probably would if I'm in need of running backs. If not, if I'm like putting one of these guys on the bench or my depth is so good, I don't think I'm trading in dividing and conquering, but I do like that. Javonte for Judkins or Javonte plus Etienne for Rico. I'd take Javonte for Judkins, but very, very close. Very, very close. My Achane, Sutton, and Dobbs and Sharps for JJ Bijan. JJ Bijan, and this is like a criminal trade. Highway robbery. What running back should I go with for my JMO? No one's giving you a running back for JMO. I hate to break the news to you. You could try Monty. You could try ETN, but you're not going to get him. You could try Harvey. You could try Hendy. That's it, Brady. No one's giving. JMO scored a touchdown, but people are still down on him. But I like JMO. I'm not giving him away. I still think he has a real solid finish given the cost of entry right now, given that no one's going to take him. But try for those. Harvey, Hendy. Of course, Breece Hall, you try, but you're probably not going to get that. Benson and something, Kamara, no thanks, actually. 5-4, PPR, second place, QB, McCarthy, Kyler, Jacobs, Kyron Williams, Hendy, Rice, Amon-Ra, Devontae Smith, McBride, Fannin, Gadsden. Need to move for a better QB. Would you trade McBride? I certainly would. You got Gadsden and McBride. You're just sitting on this value. So you're trading that for a quarterback. If you've got to throw in a Marks, you've got to throw in a Devontae Smith to get a really good quarterback. You're going after Mahomes. Do it live. Mahomes is a good buy low. Dak's kind of a good buy low. I still think Dak can produce points. Bo Nix is probably hard to get, but you never know. I think Baker Mayfield might be the cheapest QB that I think has top 7 quarterback upside. So maybe you try Baker. Just don't give up McBride for Baker. But if you go after if you trade McBride, you get Mahomes. If you trade McBride, you're getting Baker and a receiver. You're getting like JJ and Baker. You're getting Nico and Baker. You know what I'm saying? Like Judkins and Baker. You're not trading McBride for Baker. You trade McBride for maybe Mahomes, but since I tried to get Rome with Nico, should I try to get Rome for Nico? Nico's worth more than Rome. So you're going to get Rome and a potential second player that's really solid. So no, the answer is no, unless you're getting a 2 for 1. 5-4 squad is JD5, Stroud, HN, Dowdle, Sharps, Tootin, JSM, Buka. Good team though, bro. Kincaid, any moves to make? I like your squad. I think you're probably sitting tight on this. You got some MHJ value that's kicking into high gear. Love the running back stable. I think you're just trying to survive at that QB spot. I don't know who you can pick up, Brissett, Joe Flacco, whoever. But if you can't get somebody, then you might want to try and move MHJ for a quarterback. And hopefully you can get like go target the JMO owner, see what quarterback they have. Maybe MHJ for a quarterback and JMO could work. And then you're replacing your wide receiver spot a little bit with a player that I actually do quietly like under the radar. PPR first, Dart, CMC, Bucky, Puka, Rice, Kittle, Laporta, Ibuka, Judkins. Very solid team. Stick with Dart. Any trade waivers advice? Honestly, I like your team a lot. And the fact that you got Puka, Rice, Kittle, Laporta, Kittle, you're trading one of those guys, and you could upgrade Dart. I like sticking with Dart, but Kittle or Laporta to upgrade Dart, sure. Devontae Smith in that, sure. Devontae Smith and Kittle. Let's just say you stay with Dart. Devontae Smith and Kittle, Devontae Smith and Laporta for a Nico, for a JJ, for a potential, I was going to say Judkins, but Henry, Barkley, Javante type of player. Very, very solid team. Very solid team. Wow. Lots of happened today. Thank you all for the super chats. I'm sorry that it took a few minutes to get through some of those. I do try and go as fast as I can. I feel like I go faster than anybody possibly could. We answer more questions on this channel, not just super chats, but overall questions than anybody. You know, we answer with phone calls, non-super chats, and super chats. We pretty much decided that I answer, what do we say? Let's call it, yeah, I think we said at least between 350 to 400,000 questions I answer on this channel through phone calls, super chats, or non-super chats. And that's such a low ball. It's probably closer to 500,000. Like we answer so many questions on this channel. You see those other channels be like, we got the mailbag. Let's go to the mailbag. We got four questions we're answering from the chat today. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. Wow. That took a while to answer that one. Let's go to the third and fourth one. I'm tired. Let's end the show right now. We answered 4 questions. we answer mother flipping 400 to 500,000 questions a year. Easy. We got 4 mailbag questions. Mailbag. I remember one time I was like, maybe I should do a mailbag. It's trendy. A mailbag. Every show's a mailbag. If I go to a mailbag, we're downgrading. I start focusing on 4 questions. What good does that do, you guys? 4 and 5, 10-man PPR, Lost Neighbors, Hampton, Kraft, JD5, Not Giving Up, May, Genty, Hendy, AJB, Buka, Dunze, Pickens, like the team, no need help. Man, I don't think you got a lot to move on the high, though. I almost think if your deadline's this week, I guess the thing I'd try and move is AJB now if you can. But, like, what do you do? Rashad White, Sharps, AJB, can that get you any sort of upgrade at all? Can that get you into a Henry? Can that get you into a Judkins, maybe? I don't know. I don't think so, but you could try. I love Buka, and I like Adunze and Pickens a lot. I could move AJB and get an RB with that. You know, if you could get James Cook. I don't know if I want to give up Hendy, though, you know, because I still think Hendy could be the guy that saves you from all these injuries. You have a player that you don't really think you were going to have, and now they're exploding. I kind of like your team. I would just say AJB for Henry, AJB for Barkley, AJB for a Judkins, AJB for a Bucky injured. Maybe you take a gamble on Bucky, Clock. That might be the move for you because that person is probably panicking quite a bit. Yeah. Traded BTJ and Hunt and Rashad White for Pickens. How are you feeling? I like that. I'm taking Pickens all day long, bro. It's a good trade. Taps, appreciate you with the $10 traded away Judkins and Vidal for Ibuka and Bowers. No, you didn't. If you did, you don't have a friend left. No one's talking to you after that trade. I mean, this is the kind of trade somebody does. I accidentally sent it. Like crazy, bro. That's a good trade, though. If you pulled that off, I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm just joking around. That's an insane trade. Absolutely insane trade. Next move, McBride or Bowers. Let's get rid of one of those players instead of sitting on both of them, and let's go get a monster, okay? Let's go get a running back upgrade. Let's go turn somebody into a Gibbs or a Bijan because you now have the firepower to do that. Let's go turn Danny Dimes into a Mahomes. You know, a Josh Allen. Josh Allen's probably pretty tradable. I would say trade one of your tight ends for Josh Allen. That's your next, lambasting if you want one. Chance, appreciate your super chat. PPR 1 QB Josh Allen, Herbert, Hall, Judkins, Tracy, Henderson, London, Garrett Wilson, Pickens, Tyler Warren, Gadsden. Trying to move one of my QBs. What should I do? How Allen, Herbert. I probably hold Josh Allen. I think he's a league winner, bro. So Herbert and Hall for one, Henry, Barkley, Cook, something around that. JT's kind of like, I don't know if JT's going to be cheap, but JT's a smidge cheaper than he should be, but I don't know if we can cook up something that big. Gadsden, Tyler Warren, what are we doing? Why do some of you have two tight ends like that and you're just sitting there? You got to move one of the tight ends. Let's move Herbert in one of those tight ends to go get, even if it's Hall with it, a 3-for-1 to get a Hall upgrade. You could get a top 4 running back potentially using that package. If not, and you move one of the you need to move one of the tight ends more than you need to move one of the quarterbacks, because no one's really overpaying for Herbert. You're acting like Josh Allen and Herbert's like you sitting on 2 gold mines. You got one gold mine and you got one quarterback that a lot of people probably are worried about. So if anything, I'm moving one of the tight ends. Move one of the tight ends to upgrade Garrett Wilson into a stud, to upgrade potentially Tracy or Hall into a bigger monster. If you need to use the quarterback, you use the quarterback to do it. I think that's an accessory that you could throw in, but it's not something that's going to drive the trade. Unless somebody's dire straits at quarterback, then you need to come to me and tell me what they have, and then we trade them. They lost JD5. They have nobody. Yeah, let's use Herbert to our advantage, but I kind of need to know what we're dealing with. Drake May, Bijan, Bucky, JJ, Tet, Rome, Bowers, Shakir, K9, Rogers, Blue, Tootin, Ollie, Gordon, Hunter, thanks for your time. Vic, it's a good squad. I mean, Bucky needs to return, and if he does, it's you're on your way, my man. You are on your way. The only trade pieces I see here that are worth moving around or contemplating would be, damn, you got Chase Brown too. You just saw that down at the bottom. Buried. I know he's on a bye, but you buried the hell out of him, bro. I couldn't even find him. I mean, at least put him as your first bench spot. Let's have a little respect, Vic, for Chase Brown. I think you're probably good, man. I mean, Tet and Chase for one player, sure. Bijan, Bucky. You could trade Bucky and go with Chase Brown. I know he's on a bye, but you could go in that direction and say, I'm going to trade Bucky and Tet for JJ and something for Book. Do you have Buka? For Book, oh, you got JJ. Buka and something. Tet and Ted and Bucky for Barkley and something, for Henry and something. Ted and Bucky, a good 2 for 2. They were getting like a JMO or somebody you really like and replacing Ted, and then that gives this person an advantage or desire to trade for Bucky. And I like Bucky. I'm not saying get rid of Bucky. Bucky's also on my buy list. Like, understand the difference. The difference in buying Bucky and selling Bucky are two different things. If you can buy Bucky on the panic, then you're getting him cheaper. Like, we're trying to not get rid of him at that value. Like, you're holding Bucky at the value I want you to acquire Bucky at, if that makes sense. Those are some avenues, I think, to explore. Barkley for Judkins and Jalen Warren. I think you could make an argument that Barkley and Judkins are even, Steven. And Jalen Warren's a little bit of, I guess, a kicker, but not really. I'd probably lean toward Barkley coming off the bye. I just think that the offense is a little safer, obviously. And I think they're going to run the hell out of him. Baker, Darnold, Gibbs, Dowdle, Hendy, Kyron, Bucky, Sharps, tight end Kraft, going for Musgrave or Loveland. Definitely go for Loveland. And then get Musgrave if you can't get Loveland. But Loveland might even be good trade value if you were to land both or whatever. Make sure Fannon's not on waivers. Gibbs and Dowdle, love it. Kyron, Hendy, Bucky. I think you can, unless you can start all 4 running backs, which you might be able to. I'm trading Bucky or probably Bucky. Gibbs, Dowdle, Kyron, I'm probably keeping. I'm probably trading Bucky for an upgrade on Debo, like a stud. And I think Bucky for JJ makes sense, throwing Debo. I like that. I like Tyler Warren on a trade as well. Thank you for the super chat. Dynasty Superflex, trade away CJ Stroud and Manungai and Booty for Dart. I'd probably take Dart in a Superflex. I like Manungai, but I'm definitely doing that. This one here, Chiefs give up a third for Kadarius Toney, but not Breece. It's crazy. Colts give up 2 first-rounders for Sauce, but not Lamar. GMs are, it's crazy, bro. It's absolutely asinine. Michael with the $4.99. Appreciate you, Michael. And H13 with a 20. I'm going to celebrate that in 1 second. 14 man, full PPR. Caleb Bowers, Saquon, Chase, Hendy, Sharps, London, Olave. See, again, it's out of, you didn't list it in order. It's like, I don't know what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? Like, you look at, I mean, my brain can process this, but you're definitely getting an off-kilter evaluation when it's not listed in any sort of order. Because then I'm trying to piece it together, and I'm just telling you guys, I don't know how many times I got to repeat it. You want a great evaluation, list the players in order. You know, put them in your lineup and then your bench, but put them in order of value, just so it's a little easier for a human being to assess it. Trading away 4 and 5 easy rest of season schedule moves to solidify your lineup. I'd probably say Saquon. So let me find your running backs. Saquon, Chase Brown. Wide receivers are London and Olave and Jamo and Wandell. Okay, so it looks like you're just listing your quarterback, tight end, running backs. Okay. Not that bad, actually. London, yeah, I don't know about your receivers, bro. Bowers is just a monster. I don't know what you can do. No one's buying Saquon high. No one's buying Chase Brown on the high. Hendy's on the rise, despite people not thinking he is. London, you could sell into like a Nico and somebody, I think, potentially. You could sell London into 2 players. If you needed to make a move, Nico's your only move. I don't think there's a way to really turn this team into something different unless you move Bowers, which I don't want you to move. Saquon, you're not going to be able to sell high enough. Chase Brown, not high enough. I think it's London for like Nico or I don't even know if you can get Adams anymore. So that's, I mean, it's probably thought of as a downgrade, but I would say London for. Jeez, bro. Nico or Adams would be the lowest I'd want to go to get an additional player, to get a running back upgrade of sorts, to get, let's say it was Chase Brown upgrade. Let's say it's to get your quarterback upgraded. Let's say you traded London for Mahomes, London and Caleb for Mahomes and Nico or something. I think I would explore trying to get one extra player, downgrading to Adams or to Nico, but that's it. I like London a lot, but London does live in volatility as well. I mean, people forget. Everybody, remember I said last week before the week kicked off, I said everybody loves London. He's a top 5 to 7 wide receiver. Now everybody hates London. And then now everybody loves London again. Trade away Genty, Hawkinson for I get Kamara, McBride, Flowers. I'm going to say I want Genty, bro. I like McBride. I do. And I think with Brissett now in position, I'm fine with that. I guess position of need matters. If you want the tight end spot more than the running back spot, then I Smitty approve it. But at the end of the day, do I like keeping Genty? I do. $20 hauler from H13.
Super chat alert.
H13, appreciate you. 12-team PPR, 2 flex, extra game versus the median. 11-7 QB, Herbo, Jacobs, Henry, Kamara, AJ, Ramondre, Rashad, Rashee Rice, BTJ, MHJ, Debo, Kelsey, Mark Andrews, Otten moves. Thinking about offering BTJ, Debo, and Andrews for Buka and Fab. Don't even ask for Fab. Why get greedy, bro? Just do that straight up. And yes, I would. And that's exactly where I was going to go. BTJ and Debo. Do it live. Kamara included as well. Kamara and Debo. Kamara and BTJ. Kamara, go get Nico. Go get anybody on this board that makes sense, especially the right side. Obviously, you're not going to do it all for Harvey, but getting JJ, getting Barkley, getting Nico, getting Buka, getting Judkins, getting Lamb. Lamb's probably going to see an increase in value with all the defensive changes that have just happened, but certainly feel like you can still buy Lamb a little bit lower. JJ still a little bit lower than the average bear. Like this team a lot. AJ Brown, I'd even potentially upgrade, if needed in a move. But I think you could probably do something with BTJ, Debo, Kamara. All 3 of them for one JJ type player. I'd do one Nico Collins type player, one Igbuka type player, one James Cook type player, one Josh Jacobs even. Josh Jacobs might be the cheapest running back you could find right now that has top 10 running back appeal. I think that might be the way to go. This one here from Brent. Brent, appreciate your super chat, young man. Trade BTJ Hunt and Rashad White for Pickens. I take Pickens. I don't trust BTJ at all. My Knicks and Judkins and Devontae Smith and Shaheed for Josh Allen, Nico Sharps. Josh Allen. I like Devontae Smith. I like Knicks, and I love Judkins. But give me Josh Allen and Nico all day long. That's going to score more points. That is a nice trade. Nice value. Mahmoud, appreciate you. Tight end by Colston Loveland, CL. Are we really on an initial basis with Colston Loveland? CL, Colston Loveland, Fannin, Theo Johnson, Hunter Henry, I assume, Dalton Schultz. What are we doing here? MA, who the hell is MA? Mark Andrews and Smitty, chat vote. And Mahmoud wants a chat vote as well. Mahmoud's asking for a lot of this $2 hauler. Asking me to decipher with the decoder ring on this damn message. Guys, vote. I'm going to say Colston Loveland, Fannin, and then tier break. Oh, no, then Andrews, then tier break. In that order. Chat, vote on that one, please. Colston, you're lucky I speak this language, Mahmoud. CL. Should I pick up CL? It's all right, Mahmoud. Mahmoud, I'm just joking with you, bro. Mahmoud's like, I'll drop a $20 hauler. Mahmoud, I'm just joking, bro. You're always doing super chats. I'm just kidding with you. Can't we have a little fun on this channel? Sunbeams dropping a 10 wad. QB, Knicks, Rice, London, Buka. Love the receivers. T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson. You can't start all those guys, right? Gibbs, RJ, Hendy, Sharps, Tootin, Bowers, Gadsden. Okay, well, first of all, you need to trade one of the tight ends, and we need to get rid of one of the wide receivers, probably Garrett Wilson or T. Higgins with one of the tight ends to get a Nico, JJ, Derrick Henry, or whatever. So go do that. That's the easiest. Receiver mainly, because you need a receiver. So let's go. Or no, I'm sorry, running back. You need a running back. So Barkley, Cook, Jacobs, Henry, Genty. Let's do it live for one of those guys to put next to your, who's your other running back? Gibbs. Yeah. Easy direction to take this. Question 1, can I drop Keenan to activate Garrett Wilson? Yes, you can, but you might want to try and put him in this trade that we're trying to do first, you know. Josh Allen for Knicks and Gadsden. That's what I'm talking about. Do that trade. Once you have that trade done, then you can trade Garrett Wilson and maybe Higgins or Garrett Wilson, and you could explore trading Harvey, but it might be painful to watch him do well. But I'm fine with that if you're getting a Jacobs or somebody consistent. But definitely do that Josh Allen move, 100%. I really want to start Harvey, but cousin Skeeter looking dude is still in the way. Oh, you talk about, well, bro, he's got, I mean, look, it's a risk, but Harvey's got 5 touchdowns in 3 games, bro. So if people say he's looking good, but you still can't start him, actually, I've been starting him for 5 straight weeks, and he's been working out pretty well. Thank you very much. Tyler Warren and Jalen Warren, or Lamar and Harvey. Lamar and Harvey. But it's kind of an off-balance, like, eval. I don't really know what quarterbacks we're talking about there. Know what I'm saying? It's Taco Tuesday, baby. I got to order those tacos. I got to do it live. Taco Tuesday, that's what I'm talking about. We'll be back tonight at midnight Eastern. So I'm probably going to jump and get those tacos. Appreciate every single one of you. I'll open the phone lines later tonight, so Travis and the boys can dial in. Anybody else that wants to dial in. But appreciate all the super chats, all the support. I wouldn't be here without you guys, so I know I say that once in a while, but I should say it more. So I appreciate every single one of you. I'd be here talking to the 3 or 4 followers, like the old school video footage that we have of your boys saying, somebody asked me, do I trade away Lamb, Monty for Cook and Amon-Ra St. Brown? Lamb and Monty for Cook, and give me Cook and Amon-Ra all day long. And then do I move from JMO now that I have Amon-Ra? No, I mean, I don't think you're trading him. So I think I just hold him. And he's kind of a safety net cuff. You know, if something happened to Amon-Ra, then you'd be even more protected. So definitely love that trade. Definitely smashed the hell out of that trade. That's a fantastic trade. Teams 4 and 5 QBs: Baker, Stafford, Skyrin, Brown, Sharbs, Jones, Hubbard, Jefferson, Sutton, BTJ, thumbs down, Fanning, Gadsden. What moves to make? You could explore trading Gadsden if you feel like you need to make a move. You might need to. So Kyron, Chase Brown, I like actually. Baker, I still like Baker. JJ Sutton. So let's maybe upgrade BTJ using Gadsden and just see if we can get a Nico. See if we can get a, you got JJ already. See if we can get a potential, damn man, it's like a Buka. There's not a lot of options. It's Buka, it's Nico, it's really nobody else after that. Adams, maybe Adams, but Adams he's going to be hard to get right now. Past that, I mean, if you could maybe trade BTJ and Hubbard for Pickens. I think Pickens is a real nice low ball offer. Yeah. Mamoot says with the $2 hauler, 50 characters with the $2 hauler, says Dakota, my man, never doubted you. Thanks. Appreciate you, Mamoot. We're talking telepathically on that super chat. The super chat said, all right, we'll give you $20 hauler eventually. Here's a $2 hauler. And I said, I got this. CL, Colston Loveland, do it live. Smash it. Got it.
You've just been...
Gary, never fails. About to leave. Imagine if I had already left. And Gary says, Smitty, wait 1 second.
Smitty. Everybody's pretty.
Everybody's pretty tonight. Gary, appreciate your $100 hauler. Made a ton of trades, 3 and 6. We got to improve this. Got Lamar, JT, Achan, Kyron, CD, Rice, Adams, Ladd, Tet, McBride. Any ideas? Take it to the bank. Write it down on a napkin, Gary. Take it straight up to the teller and say, what kind of advance can I get for this? Can I get a loan off of this? And they'd say, hey, Steve, come on and take a look at this. Steve walks in, and they look at this thing, and they take you over to the teller, away from the teller and down to the personal banker section. I mean, what are we doing here, Gary? How are you 3? I mean, you made trades, so you haven't had this team the entire time. But, Gary, this is a 9.0. I don't give 9.0s very often. I don't even know how to help you. Gary, how can you help me with this super chat? I mean, that's where we're at. Lamar, JT, Achan, Kyron, CD, Rice, Devontae Adams, Ladd McConkey, Tet McBride. There's nothing to do but sit back, kick your heels up, log out of the app, Gary, and don't touch it. I don't think you could make this team better. And nor do I think there's any. Okay, you know what? I got something, Gary. How about Kyron? Everybody's flipping out in the chat right now. WTF. What's going on, Gary? TF, Gary. Tet McMillan or Ladd or both to upgrade Kyron. And I love Kyron. But what if you could go get just a smidge upgrade? Or, and I love Adams, but you get a little Adams upgrade. I mean, like a JJ is doable. And you might not love JJ more than Adams right now, some of you watching, because Adams did you good, but I definitely take JJ. I think these are the only things you look at. I don't think you move McBride unless you can get how about Brock Bowers? What about McBride and Tet for Brock Bowers? Ladd and McBride for Brock Bowers? That or Tet or Ladd or Adams or Kyron in some combo for one stronger, better player. Barkley, James Cook maybe. And I love Kyron, but there are ways to upgrade Kyron. So, Gary, that's what I'd do. I think I'd do that. Gary, I think I'd do that. I think I would try to upgrade Kyron right now. I'd try to get Bowers right now. I don't think I sit on that. Never mind, don't log out. Keep working. That team is amazing. That team is a 9.0, Gary. Go make it a 9.1. Rico and Sutton for Jamar. I'm going to take Jamar. But I like Rico a lot. I love Rico. I have Dak, Achan, Rico, K9. Yeah. Do it live, bro. All right, Gary, thank you. Trade Dobbins and Ferguson for McBride and Flowers. I would take McBride and Flowers and run. Austin, thank you for the super chat, Austin. Baker, Chase Brown, Breece, Rico, Bucky, Rice, Igbuka, Higgins, McBride, Warren. I would offer Lamar for Rico. Thoughts he offered me Ladd or Garrett Wilson. Was offered Lamar for Rico. I think this is tough because Baker's good and I love Rico. And Bucky should be back. If he's not back this week, which I'm starting to feel like that's going to be the vibe, but hopefully that's not the case. Breece, Chase Brown, you'll be pretty good well off, but will Baker play really well? If Baker plays, I mean, Lamar is amazing. And Lamar was one of the best buy lows this channel has had. You know, we kept sticking to the Bowers, the Lamar, buy it, do it live, but we also had these bad boys right here. London was also one of the biggest buy lows of the week that wasn't on that board, but we talked about Lamar in London for weeks as buy lows. I mean, Lamar is a big difference maker, but so is Rico. I'd almost say that having Baker and Rico is better than having Lamar and not having Rico, though. Chad, am I right on that? Can we get a vote? I still believe in Baker enough. I'd say Baker, Rico for me. I love Lamar, but I'm not going to have him do that trade. Chat, please vote what you prefer. Okay, how about Wilson, Bucky, Tyler, Warren for Genty and Bowers? Wilson, what Wilson is that? Garrett Wilson, right? Garrett Wilson, Bucky, and Tyler Warren for Genty and Bowers. I'd probably say Wilson, Bucky, and Warren, but really close. Really, really close, bro. Super close. Plato giving 5 gifted memberships. Plato, appreciate you. If I missed any other gifted memberships, I apologize. And I got H13 with another $20 hauler. H13 just absolute fire tonight. And then gifted memberships. Let me just make sure. I have Plato with the 5. Plato, thank you. 10 team PPR, 1 flex, 2 and 7. Worst league QB, worst in the league. QB, JD5 Flacco. At least Flacco stepped up. Henry, Chase Brown, Dowdle. That's a good running back stable, bro. Buka, QJ, Debo. Okay, so putting bids in for McCaffrey, Goff, Love. Yeah, do all that. And then if you get Loveland, you might be able to move Loveland in some sort of deal, like Debo, QJ, Loveland, to get some sort of, you know, the most underrated receivers in the price range that you're able to shop in would be Garrett Wilson, Adunze. I like Adunze with Buka, bro. Debo for Adunze. QJ and Debo for Adunze. Dobbs and Debo for Adunze. Get Loveland and trade him for Adunze. I think he's the cheapest potential low-end wide receiver 1. So Adunze is my call. Sutton would be another decent one, but I definitely would trade Debo and QJ for 1 player, 100%. All right, thank you, H13. And then you asked me, would drop Sharps or Hunter? Yeah, I don't know. Can you drop your kicker in D for now? Or just make the trade. Make the trade and then you won't have to cut him. But I think my favorite wide receiver by low, Pickens as well. Pickens, J-Mo, Sutton, but most of all, I would say Pickens and I'd say Garrett Wilson, Pickens, and Dunze are my 3 favorite buy low wide receivers. Buka's not low enough. Ladd might be. Jake Ferguson and Travis Michael. What in the hell are we talking about? Now, this I can't decipher. You're better off abbreviating it, bro. When you write it all out, it's even worse. Jake Ferguson and Travis Michael. What? Jake Ferguson and Travis Michael. Kelsey on a bye. You go Colston Loveland, Harold Fannin, Theodore Joseph Johnson, Hunter of the Henry. Okay, see, these are all your nicknames. Jake Ferguson, Travis Michael Kelsey. Okay, so Travis Kelsey on a bye. I got what you're saying. You got to understand, my brain is mush at this point. You start throwing this kind of stuff at me, I can't decipher it, man. Jake Ferguson, Travis Michael Kelsey on a bye. Colston Loveland, Harold Fannin Jr., Theodore Joseph Johnson Roosevelt, Hunter of the Henry, and Mark Andrews. Okay. Jeez, man, my brain is fried. I can't even understand this. Now I got it, Mahmoud. I'd rather you do initial abbreviations, though. Colston Loveland. So I'm going to say in order that you have them. Maybe move on Mark Andrews above Theodore. But I definitely think the reason I like Loveland the most is I feel like he's got tremendous trade value. But I like Fannin like quietly as much or more. Thank you, Mahmoud. Appreciate you. Just completely lost on that one. Give up BTJ and Sharps for Ibuka. Good luck getting that done. You get that done, we quit our jobs, we come work for you, Megatron. Give up BTJ and Sharps. Imagine getting Buka for BTJ and Sharps. Megatron, that's a cute idea that you cooked up right now, but I have a feeling it's like that Jerry Maguire moment. You know, you come up with the memo late at night, it sounds really good, you send it out, and then in the morning, everyone's laughing. But Megatron, you get this done, I'll be so proud of you. Like Buka for Sharps, and I like Sharps. You know, we loved BTJ, but I mean, what world do we live in now where BTJ is a laughing stock, top 12 overall pick? What was BTJ? He's got to be the top 2 or 3 biggest bust of 2025 because he was number 8, number 9, number 10. Disaster. Just disaster. Who wants to vote for the biggest bust BTJ? Unreal. All right, I'm out of here. Be back at midnight Eastern. Appreciate you all. He's BTJ. What you gonna do? He's playing like a big piece of poo. Don't get mad at me. I'm just speaking true. BTJ, where the hell are you? See you all at midnight Eastern. Dose.